So here's the cookie website again, but this time I've added some CSS structure to it. So I've added a container div, I've added a header, and two divs over here that are both floated to the left, so they're side by side. I incorporated the CSS styles that I was talking about in the last video, but they're still just embedded. I haven't actually linked them yet to an external style sheet. That was from the last video. So now, what if I want to be able to create 3 other pages, let's say, or actually all of these pages here, and I want them to have pretty much the exact same layout. I just want to change the cookie image, I want to change the title here, and I want to change the recipe. But I want everything else to stay the same. So we're going to do that in this video with templates. I'm going to jump back over here to Dreamweaver. And this is the page. It's an HTML page that I redid from my original drop page. This was the original drop, and then I just redid it and I saved it as drop for template just so I wouldn't be confused. I redid this page and added the CSS, and now what I want to be able to do is I want to make this page into my template. So there are a couple of different places that you will find templates here, and I want to just go through them quickly and then I'll talk about how to make this into a template. I can go to File, New, and there are sections here about templates. There are starter templates that you may want to investigate after you've watched this video and you understand a little bit about templates. Site templates. So any one of my sites, I'm in the site for cookie, and I already have a template here that I created before starting this video just so I could show you how a template would look if I had one. It would show up here under site templates. I'm going to hit cancel. Also here in one of my panels, I have an assets panel, and any templates that you already have open or that you already have on your site would appear here as well. And then lastly, under insert template, this is where we're going to go to make the template, and then when we're going to come back to make editable regions. And I also want to point out under modify, I also have templates for modifying. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take this regular HTML page that I've basically set up and I want all my other pages to look like, and we're going to make it into a template by going to insert, template, make template. And I want to make sure I'm doing it in this site, and I want to call it recipe. I'm going to save it, and I do want to update the links. That's important. So what Dreamweaver did was it actually created this folder called templates. I already had it here because I had an existing template, but if I didn't, Dreamweaver would have created it, and it saved it in that templates folder with the extension DWT, which stands for Dreamweaver Template. Okay, great. So now I could go and create HTML pages based on that template. Well, not quite yet, because if I do, I haven't created any editable regions, so basically I'm just copying and pasting this page over and over again. What I want is a template where most things stay the same, but I have some editable regions. The region I want to edit is my div recipe. That's just what I call this div. Now I'm going to go back under, and I am working on the template page just to make sure that's clear. I'm going to go back under Insert, Template, Editable Region, and I'll call this Recipe Area, and click OK. So now when I create a new HTML page based off this template, this area that is in blue and says Recipe Area will be editable. What's very important, a small step, but I want to point out, is that you save your file at this point. So I'm going to do Control S. I can see that it's not saved because I have an asterisk. Once I do Control S, the asterisk goes away. Because if I don't, when I go to create my new file, I won't have that editable region because that part hasn't been saved on this template yet. So now I'm going to go to File, New, and I want to make sure I'm on Site Templates, and I want to make sure it's the template I just created, Recipe, and it's going to create an HTML page for me, so I hit Create. And there it is, and it looks exactly like my original page. So what I need to do is first of all save it as a different name. So this is going to be my chip page. I'm going to redo chip. I already have an existing chip page, but that's the one with the old style. It doesn't even have CSS for layout, so I'm going to call it File, Save As, and I'll call it chip template. So if I didn't have it here already, I would have obviously just preferred to call it chip, but since I already have a chip page, I'm going to call it chip template just so I can clarify. And what I want to do is change the picture. So notice if I try to go over here, I'll just stay completely design view. If I try to go anywhere else, I can't edit it it gives me that cancel sign. But if I click into my editable region, that is the area that I can change. So I want to change the image, and I'm going to go down to my source, and I'm just going to drag it to a different image. I'll drag it to the chip cookies, and this current one is 460. I'll keep that in mind. Chip cookies. So I'm switching out the cookie image, but this one's too large, so I'm going to resize that. And there we go. That is smaller. And now I can change the text here. And I could continue on and change the recipe and so on and so forth. I can change all of the content in here. Now I've noticed, I'm going to save this page, that I have drop cookie is in the non-editable region, and that's no good. I don't want this to say drop cookie for all of them. So I'm going to go back to my original template, and I'm going to highlight that area. Just keep it in design view so we can see it. I'm going to highlight drop cookie, and I'm going to go back under insert, template, editable region, and I'll call this heading, and click OK. And so now that's going to be an editable region, but I have to save it. If I don't save it, it's not going to update onto my other HTML page that is using the template. So I'm going to save it, and it's giving me a warning because I've placed this inside of a block tag, but that's okay. And it's asking me if I want to update the other files that are using this template, and I definitely do. So I'm going to say update, and I want to say that look in all the it's looking for pages that will update it, and I can just hit close because it already found it. And now when I move over here back to my chip HTML page, my chip template HTML page, this area is now editable as well, and I can just change that to chip. And so this, and save it. And so this can be a really fast way to create pages that have pretty much, if you have a lot of the areas that you want to be exactly the same, but just some areas that you want to change. And so that's my my spice cookies over here, and now I have my chip cookies over here. And as you can see, what's really nice is everything else stays exactly the same. So once you're comfortable going and working with the editable regions, you're welcome to go and to look at some of the other templates that are provided in Dreamweaver. Although I don't really want you to use them for your homework assignments, but you can go ahead and take a look at them and go and explore and see if they would be useful for some of your other projects.